I'm Dianne. I'm a clinical psychologist. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications on when new videos come out. So today I want to tell you a little story. I was busy putting my kids to sleep the other night, and my 5-year-old climbs into bed and he says, "Mummy, I want a slush puppy." So it's bedtime, we're all going to bed. I thought it was quite amusing. I didn't take him too seriously. And I said, "A slush puppy? When have we ever had a slush puppy before going to bed?" And he was kind of calm in the beginning, but as time went by, I was trying to reason with him. I was using all of my most logical answers as to why this is an absurd request and he's not going to be getting a slush puppy. Of course, those of you who are parents can probably predict how this went. He started to escalate and become more and more unreasonable. And the more I tried to reason with him, the more unreasonable he became. So I was saying things like, "Where would we find a slush puppy? All of the shops are closed. When have you ever had a slush puppy before bed? What happens if we have a lot of sugar? You're not going to sleep very well." And I was really digging deep to find all of my logical solutions. And eventually, his whole body kind of erupted in this explosion of emotion. And he said, "You're teasing me." And I said, "I'm not trying to tease you." And then I pushed the pause button and I thought, hold on, what's going on here? He really wants a slush puppy. And I'm trying to be really logical when he's in a very emotional state. Now, I know that even as human beings, when we are emotionally dysregulated, no matter how much logic and reason we try to apply to that, the rule is you cannot logic emotion. It's incorrect grammar, but it's a saying that I love. And so I stopped, I paused, and I changed my strategy. And I simply said to him, "My sweetheart, I'm so sorry that you can't have a slush puppy right now." And I gave him a hug. And as I did that, his whole body completely melted into mine and he sobbed. He absolutely sobbed. He was in a flood of tears. And I just held him and I hugged him and I empathized with him and I validated that his emotion to him was real. And I said, "I'm so, so sorry. It's really hard not being able to have a slush puppy when you want it." And I let him cry. He cried for probably 2 or 3 minutes. And then I engaged him again and I threw the logic and reason at him. But this time, it wasn't that he was resisting me. He could see it. And I said, "You know that we never have sugar before we go to bed. You know that we don't have treats before bedtime." And we talked about, "What would you like to do?" He said, "Mummy, when Saturday comes and it's my treat day, I would like to go and buy a slush puppy." And we agreed and renegotiated. And that was it. And I kissed him goodnight and put him into bed. And that was the end of it. And I tell this story because it's such a powerful reflection of what we can do with our children. It's such a powerful tool when we validate, when we acknowledge, when we say no buts, no yes, but no logic and reason, but we simply say, "I can see that's really hard for you." And oftentimes as adults, I think we fall into the trap of forgetting what it's like to have that really intense emotional experience in our younger years about something that's really important. So we don't think it's so important. It seems illogical and unreasonable that you want a slush puppy or that you want the pink bowl instead of the blue bowl. But for the child, that's a really important thing. And that emotion that they're experiencing in response to whatever the circumstance is valid. And the rule with this is that when we validate those experiences, we activate their problem-solving logical part of their brain. The emotional part of the brain, when we're emotionally dysregulated, this applies to adults and children. We cannot, it is biologically impossible to activate logic and reason in our brains. And so a really useful, powerful tool when you're dealing with a child or even an adult of any age and they are struggling with an emotion is just to validate that. "I'm so sorry that you're having such a hard time. Tell me more about that." And when we get curious about that, We give them the tools and the opportunity to develop resilience. We're teaching them how to regulate themselves emotionally, and we're also activating the problem-solving logical part of their brains. If that was useful, like this video, feel free to share it, and I will see you in my next video.